Hi everybody, welcome to Universal Neurodiversity, the show that helps you plan for your next trip to Universal Orlando through the eyes of a neurodivergent. And like I said in the previous video, I am neither a park expert, just a fan, nor do I speak for all neurodivergents. I'm only just part of a community, and I'm learning about new things each time I go to Universal Orlando. Today we are talking about the next park in Universal Orlando, Islands of Adventure. In 1999, the park opened along with City Walk and Lowe's Portofino Bay Hotel as part of an expansion of their previous existing park, Universal Studios Florida, which I covered in the last video. It originally featured 6 lands, but since 2010, it's grown to 7. So I'm pretty excited. It's one of my parents' favorite parks, and it's the perfect way to start your morning if you have the multi-day park pass. So, like I said, you do have to get your thing scanned, your park ticket scanned, my apologies, and your face scanned so you can get into the park. However, if you're like me and you're excited to go in the park, you'll see what the park's most recognizable icon, the lighthouse, which is so beautiful. And it's especially beautiful at night when it lights up and then the spotlight shines all over the park. It's pretty awesome. And best part, if you have a park-to-park ticket, you could go right to Universal Studios next door without even having to take a shuttle. You can walk there or take the Hogwarts Express, which I'm gonna go into in a little bit. But the first thing you enter is the port of entry, the area where adventurers are called to new adventures. And it's one of my favorite places to get photo ops, because there is park photographers who will take your picture under the little bridge that enters into the park. But there's also some cool photo ops around the park, like this one, which is a picture of my dad and I near the drums. But there's also a little firefighter bike, which has a water barrel in the back. That is my father's particular favorite. There are also some shops featuring merchandise, Christmas themed, which is a little weird sounding, I know, but it's so cool. And you might see characters if they come out during the season, but it's pretty cool. And it's also a place where you can chill out if you need a place to eat or rest. On one side, once you get past the shops, is Confisco Grill. I hope I got that name right. Please forgive me for massacring it. And on the other side is your Starbucks and the Cinnabon. In fact, this trip, I actually did something a little different with my parents. This time in the midday, when we do Islands of Adventures, we actually stop and take a moment to sit down and have a little bit of a snack. So, because my mind is usually go, 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 but I know I need to have some sustenance in all of us so we can keep going. But it also gives us a chance to take a breather, relax, and not stress everybody else out. Now, we're gonna go start with one of the fun places in the world and a perfect place for families, Seuss Landing, which takes you into the colorful world of Dr. Seuss's books. You got play areas, the carousel, the Cat in the Hat ride, which is iconic. The, I forgot that little thing that shows you all the way to Seuss Landing. But you can also meet your favorite characters with, actually, I have something right here. This is my Florida scrapbook, which I usually add in. Hoping to add more to it soon. And I had a book, here are just some of the characters you'll meet at Seuss Landing. You have obviously the Cat in the Hat and thing 1 and 2. You have Sam I Am and the mean one himself, the Grinch. He's a pretty funny character, especially around Grinchmas. Speaking of Grinchmas, one of the best things about Seuss Landing is it's perfect all season, but when it comes to Christmas time, oh, it's so amazing. I will talk about special events in one of the episodes regarding seasonal events, but one of my favorite parts is Grinchmas, where all the Who's come out and celebrate with you, and you can even see the Grinch tell his story in the delightful show, Grinchmas Christmas Spectacular. It's really fun. But for families with neurodivergent members or for people who just need a relaxing situation, it's a perfect place to go if you want to relax, get away from all the fast rides, or just chillax if you need a break. I definitely recommend that. And Pretty fun. Take me back to those books I used to read as a kid. Oh, there's also some Dr. Seuss merchandising and of course some snacks, including green eggs and ham. I do, Sam, I am. I'm sorry, but it had to be said. And if I misquote that, I apologize. Now, crossing over the bridge from Seuss Landing is the area that is called the Lost Continent. It was one of the original lands that opened with the others, but in recent years, some of the rides and attractions have closed, including a stunt show called The Eighth Wonder of Sinbad and Poseidon's Fury, which was a battle between the gods. But now you come in and it has still the Talking Fountain and Mythos Restaurant, which I heard is pretty popular and pretty hard to get into if you don't have a reservation. I could be wrong on that, so don't quote me on that. But it's definitely a place if you want to use the restrooms, relax, or get some popcorn with those little buckets, which is pretty cool. But don't worry, that doesn't mean there isn't stuff to do. There's plenty of things to see, including some awesome character meets like Julius from Madagascar and the characters from Kung Fu Panda. You definitely don't want to miss it. Now, in 2010, one of the biggest attractions opened up and began an expansion around the world, and by that I mean the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. It all opened in 2010 with the opening of Hogsmeade, and right next to it is the Hogwarts Express, which can take you from Hogsmeade to Diagon Alley, otherwise known as Universal Studios Florida, if you have a park-to-park ticket. But to see some of these incredible details, so amazing. It felt like you jumped in either the pages of the book or the world of the Harry Potter films. It's so amazing. Every detail is done to the last perfection. And it's also a great place for if you want to experience some of the biggest thrills the park has to offer, like Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, which is a dark/simulator ride, which may be intense if you have children. So if your children isn't into that or you might be overwhelmed, there's a child swap area. Adults, on the spectrum, if you need to relax, don't worry, there are plenty of other stuff you can do besides Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. Like see some of the shows that the park has to offer, like the Tri-Wizard Rally featuring Bobaton School and Dubstrang, or the Hogwarts Frog Choir. And believe me, they are amazing. There's even a cool activity that you can all do, where if you have an interactive wand that you purchase at Universal Studios, or if you're like me, given to you by your grandfather, who wanted to take you to your first trip, very special. You can step on these little pads and you can cast spells on them. Talk about magical, am I right? But don't worry, there's not less stuff to do in Hogsmeade. You can send posts from the Owl Post. You can send postcards, send it to your friends. Pretty cool. You can even try some butterbeer, or even go to the Hogshead for a nice drink. But there's something I should tell you. The only ride that doesn't have the Express Pass where you can skip the line is Hagrid's Motorbike. And that's one I haven't tried yet, but I definitely want to put on my list because I've heard it's pretty amazing. Now, we go away from the magical world of Harry Potter and we go into a land 65 million years in the making, Jurassic Park. Pretty proud of this little selfie station that the park has. Anyway, here you can go to the amazing world of Jurassic Park and Jurassic World. In the Jurassic World Discovery Center, you can watch a baby dinosaur hatch or adopt one. Okay, maybe that part, I'm not sure. But there's so many things to do, like maybe encounter Blue, the star of the hit movie Jurassic World. Just make sure you didn't eat anything first, because dinosaurs, they have massive appetites. Anyway, the ride I only tried there is a new addition called the Velocicoaster, and definitely fast. You definitely want to research for child restriction and how fast it is, because there may be some people who might not like the speed of it, because the coaster goes into 2 launches and introversions, which is like the loops, and it could be scary. But it's a fun ride and a great photo op if you want to get a picture of from the park ride. It's wicked fun. You can also check around some of the stores, get some dinosaur equipment, and although I'm not a big water ride myself, I heard that the Jurassic Park River Adventure, an original when the park opened, is still a huge hit. But I would bring a change of clothes for that ride or any other water ride if you don't really want to get wet. Me, I don't do them myself because I'm not a big fan of carrying wet clothes around, and it's such a sensory thing. But if you want to try it out, I won't stop you. In fact, let me know in the comments what you think of it. I'm dying to hear it. Now, there is a little small area near there with this ride that was opened in 2016. Skull Island, Reign of Kong. And in this ride, you go on an expedition with the film crew in the early 1930s, where you encounter mysterious creatures and that king known as King Kong. It's a mix of dark ride and projection ride, but it's a definitely fun one, and I have a funny story for that one. The first time I went to Universal with my grandfather, that was one of the first rides we tried, and there's a moment where giant bugs come on the screen. I don't know why, but I started panicking, and I'm like, ah! Ah, get me out! Get me out! My grandfather was laughing so hard he nearly wet himself. But it's one of those stories that never gets old, and now I can look back on it and laugh. And like I said, if you want to wait with a person who may not be out on the thrill for the ride, or a child who may not be up to it, I would recommend waiting by the entrance with a particular partner, and then taking a turn for your chance to go on the ride. Now, we go out of the world of Kong, and into the world of newspaper cartoons and the Sunday funnies, Toon Lagoon. No, SpongeBob isn't there. Would have been appropriate, but still I felt like it was a good joke. Here, you get to explore the world of Popeye, Blondie, Beetle Bailey, and Boop-de-Boop, Betty Boop. Now, I haven't tried any of the rides there because it's water rides and I have a sensory thing wearing wet clothing around. But it's definitely a fun place to check out, and the character meet and greets are so awesome. Although sadly they did not bring back Rocky and Bullwinkle or Beetle Bailey, which was my other grandfather's favorite. It's still cool to meet Betty Boop and Popeye and his girl Olive Oil. Maybe talk about spinach and all that. In fact, I have a picture right over here. That was from 2 years ago during my 2023 trip, and they were very sweet. And I got to hang out, maybe flex some muscles, and got a hug from Popeye. He may eat his spinach, but he has a warm heart. And it's definitely a great place if you want to do carnival games. My dad did it a couple times with me. He kicked my butt. Still not over it! Seriously though, it's definitely a place, and there's great photo ops I forgot to mention, including one with that lovable dog, Marmaduke. Check it out. I'm walking the dog, or rather, the dog is walking me. And finally, we go to a place where the battle of good and evil always reign. Marvel Superhero Island. Where and keep in mind this was before the Disney bought Marvel, so they have an agreement in Florida. Anyway, this is one of the greatest parts, because here, you can go into the world of your favorite Marvel comic books and see totally different things. And these are just some of the characters you'll meet, like Storm and Rogue, Cyclops, Wolverine, Captain America, the Green Goblin and Dr. Doom, bleh. And of course, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, who's a great meet. In fact, I actually want to show you a video from a recent trip. Check this out.
Hey, love the look. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Come on in. Otherwise, some bad guys might show up, and I think it'll be the opposite of having a birthday party.
And it'll be stinky too.
They tend to not have good hygiene. Trust me, I know from experience. This is like some sort of maze today. I forgot my keys. Hopefully somebody's here, huh? I guess we'll find out. Well, it's like the first one of your birthday party.
Yep, would you mind filming this?
Alright, long time no see. How you been? You brought some of these with you, right?
Yeah, I'm dressed up like you.
I see that. Although your secret identity is kind of spilling out at the top of your t-shirt. So. I'd say cheese, but it's kind of a formality at this point, I think, with the full face mask. Kayla.
Hi.
That's awesome. You're awesome here.
Like I say, you just let me know what time we're doing cake, and I'll stand there awkwardly while everybody else eats it.
And you wear those little ARs, right?
Listen, Goblin's in the mood today. I mean, I think Goblin's not normally in the mood, but he's a little off, so just keep your distance, all right?
But do you do this every time you do that?
I mean, occasionally. I did see, speaking of stinky, true
Can
story.
you do that?
This? The reason I do this is because, actually, do you know, Green Goblin's not really the problem. Dr. Doom is the guy who does the company Dr. Doom Dutch oven thing.
Ugh.
I saw him put his cape over a kid's head the other day. It was disgusting.
Ugh.
Yeah, the links I'll go to.
Oh, nice seeing you.
You as well. Happy birthday.
Oh,
Hey, bring it in. Come on. We're family here. All right, Chief. Enjoy your day. Be careful out there.
Pretty cool, huh? He's definitely funny to meet with. And there are also some amazing thrill rides that you don't want to miss. Like one of my family's personal favorite, The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man. A 3D simulator ride that helps help Spider-Man stop the evil plans of the Syndicate, which consists of Dr. Octopus, Carnage, Hobgoblin, and of course, Dr. Octopus. It definitely has a lot of stuff, so you might want to research about that. But I also recommend it for families because it is child-friendly in terms of you don't have to worry about height. I mean, you do have height restrictions, but I mean, like, you don't have to worry about if it's going to go up or down because you're still on the ground. But you still feel like you're immersed in that world, and I highly recommend it. Then there's a ride I haven't tried yet called Dr. Doom's Fearfall, where, like Tower of Terror, it catapults you up and it catapults you down. But the main icon of Marvel Superhero Island is the Incredible Hulk coaster, which I tried with my brother back in 2018 when he came with me on his first trip. And he actually helped me to brave my fear of heights. So now every time I went on last time, I thought about my brother, even though he couldn't come because he was babysitting our dog. Anyway, it's an amazing thrill ride that launches you from 0 to 50 in just a second. Like I said, there is height requirements, and there's one thing I forgot to tell you about roller coasters. The roller coasters that go up, they will have you empty your pockets because they don't want anything falling out of it, since it's obviously an outdoor ride, and a lot of stuff goes into it. So, they have these rental lockers you can use. The small ones are free, but the bigger one for bigger bags, you will have to pay for. But when you go in the ride, depending on which line you go in, actually both lines have it, but in any case, you will be scanned for anything metal like your belt or anything you might have forgotten to take out of your pocket. But I just want to remind you of that. So make sure when you're with your family member, you check through your pockets, have them hold your bag or put the bag in the locker, and you'll be all set to go. And the character meet and greets, as I mentioned before, they are awesome. And you never know what is going to be talked about. In fact, last time I went recently, Captain America saw my dad in his fire shirt, and he was like, "Are you a fireman?" And my dad was like, "Yeah." So he got to let my dad and my mother hold the shield. In fact, I have that picture right here. One of their special universal moments, and I'm pretty happy about that. But there's also some incredible photo ops too. Like, the walls are comic book graphic, and it's amazing. It feels like you jumped into the world of your favorite Marvel comic books. It's a perfect way to really kick up that adrenaline. So anyway, that's Islands of Adventure. As I mentioned before, I'm open to new ideas of things I haven't tried before, or maybe some questions you might have that I can try to answer. If you want to do that, put them in the comments below. If you're watching this on YouTube, I am setting the link to both the Discover Universal blog and the Universal website on here. If you're on Instagram, DM me and I will send you the link. Have a safe day and happy Autism Month. And remember, Universal is neurodiversity and neurodiversity is universal. See you soon and have a good day.